Good evening, everyone. It is now 7 o'clock. I'll call the Master Plan Committee meeting of Wednesday, August 21st, 2024 to order.
There's nothing scheduled on August 1st, 2025.
Talk to me.
We know that.
So I'd like to do a roll call attendance, if you would. So
Linda
that was-
Brown.
Carol Gogolinski.
Bob Manerick.
Ross Smith.
Mike Zwicker.
Gordon Larrabee. Matthew Benoit.
Emily Bobbitts.
Greg Schlesman?
Oh, could you speak up, please, or give her the mic?
Sure.
Not you, Meg.
Oh,
I
sorry.
got you.
Got it.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, great, thanks, Meg. And Rich Preston.
Can hear the ocean.
All right, so if you would, let's take a look at the minutes of August 31st, if you would.
And I had that correction again, CMR, let's see, number B. CMR, CP I had.
PC.
Oh, he did
Yes,
see-
it should be PC.
On the final edition, I also added the absent members, which
Okay.
is Brendan Moore and John Dubois.
All righty.
But I printed these before I did that. Brendan Moore was listed as here at the last meeting, but he didn't attend.
Oh, yeah.
Is Bob Moran here?
I don't see him. Yeah. I did have a one, maybe two. Let's see, a couple sentences down, maybe two. It says master plan should take 1 to 2 years to complete, and I was just going to suggest a recommendation that the master plan creation should take up to 2 years. I think it's scheduled like May, June 2026, is that correct, Emily?
So, yeah.
Yeah. So we don't want someone to circle back and look at these and say, what happened, why did it take so long? So
Up,
I wrote,
up to, what do you want it to say?
I wrote, master plan creation should take up to 2 years to complete. So I just crossed out 1 and put up 2.
Could take even longer, but we'll see.
Right. The other was, if I could, a little farther down, talking about the next 2 meetings, and it says the second meeting in August, we will finalize the survey results, and I think what we'll be finalizing is this, the survey.
Where are you? Second
little-
I see it, yeah. Review.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be finalizing and reviewing the survey results, so like late October, maybe November?
Yeah, because we wanted to have it open during town meeting, which is
Yep.
November 3rd,
Okay.
so.
Yep.
after that.
There you go. Thank you.
So crossing out results.
I wrote, the second meeting in August 2024, we will finalize the survey. That's what was scheduled.
The draft survey, or not the results, right?
Right, not the results, just the
Yeah.
survey itself.
Where it says the 20 questions, and we will have it before our next meeting? Or leave it have before?
We have to pick the 20 questions, right?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about tonight, developing it,
Sorry. That was me.
right, finalizing it, maybe next time.
Based on your input tonight, we'll work internally between ourselves.
Could you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, I'm Sam Carter. Hi.
Okay, Sam.
We're gonna work on sort of developing the questions more between ourselves, and then for the next meeting, we'll have prepared questions, like the full list of questions for everybody to discuss.
Anyone else have any comments, considerations, amendments to the July 31st minutes? Do I hear a motion to approve as amended?
So moved?
Second?
Second.
We'll do a roll call vote.
Linda Brown, aye.
Carol Gogolinski, aye.
Bob Manerick, aye.
Ross Smith, aye.
Mike Swicker, aye.
Gordon Larrabee, aye.
Meg?
Meg Schlesman, aye.
Rich Preston, aye. It's passed unanimously. Thank you. So we have with us this evening, once again, Emily from CMRPC and Sam Carter.
All right,
Put it in your capable hands.
cool. So like Sam said, we're going to be going over some potential questions for the survey. So I know it was hard to see on the screen before, so I just figured I'd print out the materials
Yay.
to go over. Yeah, it's easier. So I don't know, I'm just going to go around. Thank you. There we
Were
go.
you able to email Matt your last presentation?
I printed, the presentation. Yes,
Yeah.
Matt, did you email that out?
So that's more or less says what our contract is, pretty much. It says what we do, what they do. And I could see it so much better online. But it would have been 10 pages of minutes if I were to write it
Oh,
all,
right.
you know?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll double check if that I thought it got sent out. but,
Okay. That's fine, because it's good to keep for our records, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Could I get one of those, just because the screen's kind of high?
And then for folks online, I will share my screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Hi, I'm CMRPC Zoom 5.
You're in.
Thank you. So, lots of stuff to go over. Okay.
Meg, can you see that?
Okay, perfect. Great. So the way I kind of decided to structure this was, I'm a big fan of PowerPoint, so you might see a lot of PowerPoints from me. So just as a reminder, these are the elements for the master plan. And so the idea for the survey is to have at least 1 to 2 questions targeting each of these topics. So that's kind of how I've structured this kind of document here. So I figured if folks want to, we can go element by element and kind of, I'll give you a sense of like what information we're trying to get by asking these questions to the public. What we kind of can't get based on like census information or assessors data, like what we want to hear from people. And then I went through, we've done a number of master plan surveys in the past, so I went through and I kind of captured some of the questions that I thought could be useful for this. We're definitely not going to use all of them. There's a bunch of different kind of examples. So I'm trying to get a sense of what you think we should be asking people. You know the town, you know the hot topics that have come up. So what do we want to hear? So I'm on page 3 right now. Population and housing. So we're trying to get a sense of who is living here. We might have some demographics questions. Usually those are kind of optional questions, just asking, what is your household income? How many people live in your household? Just to get a sense of who is taking the survey. That can kind of help us, because through this, we use a platform called SurveyMonkey, and it kind of allows us to filter questions, which is really interesting. So we could say, okay, so homeowners typically answered the questions this way, and renters typically answered the questions this way, or anything like that. So it's that, just to give you an idea, that can be really helpful. We would like to get a sense of if cost of living and housing affordability are issues in Douglas, what people's like current and future housing needs are, and what types of housing people would like to see built in the future, and where. So maybe not all of these we can get answered in the survey. Maybe some of these would be better for, we're going to be having a workshop coming up. So maybe we could create an activity around that. But just to kind of preface these questions with that. So these are a few questions. Usually we'll just start out the survey that way. So what is your connection with the town? Are you a resident? You're a business owner? Do you work in town? Are you a landlord or some other kind of connection? So there's a few different ways we could phrase that. I put kind of all of them there. So just at first glance, any kind of preference or thoughts at this?
Like the Rutland one.
The Rutland one, the one in green.
Are any of these towns comparable in population to Douglas?
There are 8,000 people there, I think. We're pushing 10, getting close.
What was the other town? I couldn't hear you.
Rutland,
Oh,
I think they have 7,500, 8,000
oh, okay.
people there. But they don't have the commercial corridor that we have.
Yeah.
They have none.
Well, probably the amount of land we have,
They're kind
open
of
space.
a little bit further out than what we are.
Oh, yeah. Center of the state.
Yeah,
Yeah, location wouldn't be so,
yeah.
as hard as the population or how big the town is.
There's no highway there, obviously.
On these questions, could you answer more than one?
Yeah, I guess so. That would be a good point to make, yeah, because you could work in town and live here, of course. Just jotting some notes down. Cool. All right, I can keep moving forward here, if that's okay. The next one, the one on the left, I'm on page 5 here. What is your biggest concern regarding housing? And we took this from Brookfield. I kind of like this one because it really just lists out kind of all the different problems that we could have, and people can select as many as they want to. And I think that would kind of help give us a good sense of what the issues are. Lack of affordable housing for seniors. I mean, I know I focus on housing in a lot of my plans, so that's usually top of the list.
Would that be a circumstance also, excuse me, if they do multiple checks, maybe prioritize which one do you feel is more important
Oh, yeah.
than the other? Would you rather see more of the affordable housing over something else, or vice versa?
We put them in order by what they think is more important.
Yeah, we can have the survey format like rank them.
Rank or weigh one over.
Yeah.
That way there, when you're looking down the road, you can see what what they feel is more important than something
Yeah.
else.
Say, what's your first choice? Put a 1 next. What's
Yeah.
your second choice? Put a 2 next to it.
All right, I like that.
I like the look of the questions, though. It covers a lot of it.
It really does, yeah. I like the questions where it kind of can fit everything into one, so that reduces our number of questions we have to ask. And then the one on the green one on the right here, this is just kind of an excerpt of a question. It's kind of a picture question. It's presenting a few different housing types. So it could be, accessory dwelling units or small-scale apartments, large-scale apartments with a big pool in it, and you were asking people, okay, do you think this is a desirable form of housing to be built in the future, or do you not want to see this built? So it's kind of like a form-based kind of question, like preference.
I have a question. They just passed the Affordable Homes Act, and I think that might have some effect on what's going to happen in town and maybe how we ask the questions.
Yeah.
I think you'd be able to create an accessory apartment by right as opposed to by permit, which is what we're doing now. So I don't know how that's going to be in the mix, if you will.
I'm still learning as well,
Yeah.
what that's going to entail. I mean, we could have a question just focused on that. Are you interested in learning more? I don't know.
Well, you could ask what they feel about accessory apartments on their own place.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be whether they want them or they don't want them, because the law says they can have them.
Right.
So, the other thing, of course, try to read that on your little telephone. One of the things, too, that I thought that I read there is, when you used to have lots that were undersized because they were developed, and then they changed the zoning, and you had so many years, then you had to have them merge. It appears that those lots are now going to be legal lots if they're up to 10,000 square feet.
Oh.
So that's what I saw. At least I think that's what I saw, trying to read it.
So there was common ownership,
Right,
center lot line disappears.
That's it.
So that if they're in common ownership.
The common ownership is not, they're going to stop it anymore. They'll be able to have the, I mean, that happens to a lot of people. They think they have a lot, they've been paying taxes on it forever, and then they go to build it, and they go, oh, no, you don't have a lot.
Yeah, the intent is to obviously to allow higher density
And
to provide housing.
Quality services like schools.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the problem is, we're down 500 kids in our school system. We built these schools for a certain amount of kids. We've got all of these teachers, and we're down 33% in our population in the last 10 years. And it's not only us.
Who has the current school? Matt, do you know the current school? Because I heard it's increasing rapidly.
I've heard the opposite, I've heard what Carl said.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
And
So we
so
might
it's
be
all
approaching-
hearsay.
We would have been forecast. I mean, they built a new school and said we're going to be at capacity, and we're a third down last year, but I heard this year it's climbing.
I haven't heard about counts this year.
We'll
Just
have to
last year,
find out from the school committee. But I know all the schools, it's not just Douglas. Everybody said, well, oh, they must be all sending their kids to other schools. No, people aren't having kids.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about the green one? The idea with the full base?
Yeah, the green one, the second document in the packet that I gave you, there's kind of a better example. It gives you all the kind of pictures. It's the Lester survey that I printed out. I don't know what page it's on,
In the back, this one,
wherever the pictures are.
that's the second one.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So that gives you a kind of a better sense of what that question would look like. Could be maybe 6 pictures or something. That's also another question that we could just incorporate it into like an activity at the workshop. That's something we've done before.
Yeah, housing's going to be a popular discussion. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep.
On the back of page 2 in the Lester is your rank for the question.
Oh, there we go.
Rico was referring to.
Perfect.
Is it on that one?
That question.
Yeah.
That's the format you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the printed version looks a little bit different than how
Yeah.
it would appear on a phone or
Yeah.
computer.
What's your definition of seniors? Page 5, question 7.
I would
The
say,
second line, lack of affordable housing for seniors, is that a 55 and over?
I think that's typically the definition that's kind of commonly used.
I think we're starting to kickstart another push for 55 zone. It's in the flex development, but I think it's been
55.
introduced recently.
Those are kids.
Yeah.
55 or 60 plus in some places, I think.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on the age restriction of the development.
Yeah.
But we could, yeah, just clarify that if we're saying senior housing. Okay. Well, we can come back to that question. Let's keep moving forward. This is a question, I believe this was from Lester as well, where it's asking about, are there any areas within Leicester where you believe additional multifamily housing could be appropriately located? So I think they were maybe looking at rezoning certain areas to focus on, oh yeah, because I think Leicester's a MBTA community, so they were probably working on that. Is that something that has come up in town, kind of looking at rezoning? Okay.
Just one area because there's a developer developing a ton of land, so he's looking at the overlay district, but not rezoning.
Okay, okay. So I don't know if this question would be like kind of appropriate, but it's up to you all.
Well, the industrial zone on Davis Street's got a lot of pushback from the residents who live there. it being zoned industrial while their residences are already there. But we had to put the boundary somewhere and include some of the residential properties, and it's not many, but it's few, they're allowed. I'm thrilled with it. And some of our industrial zone is in the state forest. They can't really be developed industrial, right? It's at the other side of the street. We just had a permit go in there for outdoor storage, right? Right at the gateway to our town. It's like, hey, welcome, here's an outdoor storage. Not the best.
Oh,
But,
But it has to be screened.
yeah, we'll see if he does that.
We did talk a little bit about increasing density or tweaking the zoning in village residential, just sort of our high density downtown, and even downtown, the business. Because years ago, of course, some of those buildings, would be residents on the second floor and businesses on the first floor. So we were talking about trying to enhance housing in those areas too. That would be mixed use, yeah.
I think what we need here is our own map to show where our own zones are for the next meeting, if we could. Or even in just a handout,
Yeah.
to show what we have.
So it sounds like maybe when we get into the land use question, that might be where we could throw in maybe some multifamily and just combine it with questions about industrial use and conservation, things like that.
Areas in town, back to that, where additional multifamily housing could be appropriately located. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of large-scale available land in our downtown.
The thing is, you're getting into like more than a duplex. You're gonna have sewers.
Right?
So
Right.
unless you can, you have an
Next
area
question
that's
kinda
got
comes up.
sewers, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
Right. Yeah, the next section, town services and facilities. So that's definitely, yeah, where we'd get into that if there's any questions we want to ask folks about sewer or water, expansion, improvements, things like that. And then, yeah, questions about, I guess, general satisfaction we've asked in the past about municipal services and facilities. I'm not quite sure like how useful that can be. Let me just get into the questions here. So we can structure it as, are you satisfied with the services at the following facilities? We list off all the facilities. Kind of thing with this is not everyone uses all of the facilities. So we might get a lot of, well, I don't use this.
Okay, though, at least we get an idea.
Yeah, right. But then on the next page, on page 10, actually, if you skip forward a couple pages, we're getting a little bit deeper if we're asking, how important do you think it is for the town to allocate resources for the following services and facilities? So even if someone doesn't necessarily use a facility, they might say, okay, this is important to the community, even if I'm not personally using this myself. Might help give the town a better sense of where more investment needs to go. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways we could kind of phrase this one, so.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like this one. It ranks them, and I think it's helpful. you know.
Yeah.
We don't have trash.
So anyone gets their trash independently.
Oh, is that an issue kind of in town? Like, do people want municipal trash services?
How does the town feel?
What's that?
The trash, we don't have a municipal trash haul. Everyone has private.
We do have a transfer station,
Oh,
Yeah.
but not door to door, or we hire, people individually hire, like BFI or something.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody saying how we should have townwide trash pickup.
No,
Everybody's, they either pay for their own or They go to the
Transfer.
transfer station.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The next kind of set of questions, it's kind of focused on specific facilities or services. So if we wanted to ask about where people get their water, if they're satisfied with it, if we want to expand municipal water, and the same with sewer, we could get into that. Or we could ask about trash or the schools, library. We could, if there's anything that's kind of been maybe an issue in town that we want to really focus on, this could be an opportunity, but we don't necessarily need to. This is just what a few other towns have done.
Like the water sewer questions.
Other folks like the sewer treatment questions? Just on page 12.
Oh, okay, I was just gonna ask.
Sorry, I've been flipping around a lot.
I think those are valid questions, both water and sewer.
Yeah,
I think that would-
I agree.
That would,
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we'll do both. I'll try to condense it in a way, so it's not just like 6 questions. Figure out a way to kind of make it quick.
On 15, one thing that's there, it says parks and open space. I would think maybe underneath that is parking at parks and open space.
Where are you, Mike?
where are
Which
you?
one?
What page?
On,
it's on page 9.
it's on page 9, item 15.
Oh,
They're asking about parks and open space. The problem with 99% of all that in this town is no place to park. You have a question on that, whether they feel it's sufficient or insufficient. So if you plan on having parks and open space, do they want more or less parking?
That was a major conversation in the open space committee. Find parking for someone's trailer.
And would that include state forest?
Yeah.
So that's the major issue, is the state forest. There's no place to park.
Well, there are, but not a ton.
There's no place to park. When you try to cross the causeway on a Saturday and Sunday, it's a
Oh, well,
traffic
that's
jam.
one out of 10
But
cross
it's still a major issue there.
accesses.
Major.
That's just one. There are other accesses.
So, I'm just saying,
The state's got a lot of space, they could make some parking.
they should take, well, that's why, parking is a big issue.
I mean, they got a place up on 16 you can park. Of course, during COVID, when everybody
Yeah.
was out, they were parked up and down the road.
Yeah.
But you don't see
Yeah.
that anymore.
So that's what I'm getting at.
Yep.
Park.
Let's hope we never see another COVID.
Everybody wants to have it, but you know, a place for anybody to go.
But nobody's gonna buy it this time.
Yeah, we could potentially, there is a section for open space and recreation resources.
Okay,
so
there is another
maybe-
one?
Yeah. So maybe we could have a question
it there,
around that, like
yeah.
what issues are there with our open spaces? And have parking as an option.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, do you think it'd be useful to have a frequency question? How often do you go to these places?
So one thing that is paramount, we cannot call it our senior center here in Liverpool.
Okay, good to know.
We call it our adult social center.
Got it.
It's huge.
And don't abbreviate that.
Yes.
Got that. I am starring that. Cool. And we can also have like open-ended questions too, just give people a chance to type in their whatever they want to say, whether it ends up being about the question or not.
Yeah, there's a couple of those I see in here that, what would you like to see?
Yeah, I think it's good to just have those in there.
Yep.
It can be really interesting to read people's comments and so, Sometimes it's just giving people a place to complain a little bit, but that's okay. All right, let's go forward to the next section, I guess. We can always come back to any of these. I just want to make sure we kind of get through this. So the next section was economic development. So are there types of businesses or industries that people would want to see in the town? How can we approve the town center, or if there's other economic centers in Douglas? How should the town support new and existing businesses? Those are just kind of some of the things that we'd be trying to get at.
You know what the top things they're going to say they want to see in town? Grocery store and a CVS.
Well, we want to see it, but yeah, if
Yes,
we can
please.
like quantify that, yeah.
Number one
Oh,
and
yeah.
number two.
You know, say 80% of people who took the survey want a grocery store. All right, that's good data we can use.
Of course, the problem is, you know, you
They
can only
won't
make
put
it, you can only make it so that they can come in. You can't force them to.
Right.
We don't have enough of a population,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
the
a
problem.
CVS 5 miles away.
Yeah.
Not enough rooftops.
I think it's a worthy question, though,
I think
you
so.
know?
Yeah,
We
there's things
used to
the
have
town
these
can
little
do to
small
promote them.
grocery stores,
Yeah,
but we don't
right.
even have them anymore.
You're right.
We have had some discussions about downtown and how to improve the vibrancy, the foot traffic. Because a lot of times, there's just nothing going on down there. So what is it you need to do?
I'm
know,
sorry, Richard?
Regarding downtown, try to improve the vibrancy of downtown, we have talked about that, foot traffic. It's how to sustain small businesses, so what is it you need to do to make it an attractive, appealing downtown that you want to go to? You want to go there because you have to, you want to go there because you want to, you know what I mean? I don't know what the formula is, but maybe we could ask people what their opinion is.
Yeah, I'm skipping over to page 18, which kind of had a few examples of questions focused on like the town center. So kind of a fun visioning one. It's the ones on the left. What one word describes the center of town as it is now? What one word describes the center of town as it should be? I mean, we could kind of work with that, but that's a way we could kind of like phrase that, get people to start thinking.
And that's,
It kind of has two centers. We have
okay.
the actual center of town, which is the gazebo and common.
Right.
And then we have our commercial center, which is East Douglas, which is right out here. Yes, it's got two centers, those are them.
Okay,
But don't call it East Douglas.
Right.
don't call, okay,
It is all Douglas.
gotcha.
does it, I mean, so it functions like a town center in a way? Like it's got like a lot of walking spaces and stuff?
Yeah.
Cool.
Down,
Common has, that's the actual center with the historic and the gazebo.
Okay.
That's the old Hilltop Farm Center,
Yeah.
they used to. refer
church
to
and
that
common.
was a hotel.
But the economic center is
Douglas Town.
what he referred to as East Douglas.
Center.
So in terms of economic development, the focus would be there, I would think.
Okay, let's just make sure we clarify that if we're asking.
And that first question, it's also a good question for helping us with the vision statement, which we can work on later.
So what do we want to designate as
one?
the center of town? This section, right? As compared to
Yeah, I think the
5 miles away.
commercial, yeah,
Where there's nothing.
right, right. So I think, called the epicenter of Douglas, I guess. but,
Correct.
you know, our pizza places and,
Right.
Yeah.
business-
Library.
Commercial center.
yeah,
Post office.
I think people would,
yeah. What
Would get it.
what would
But so
bring
there's
you,
still
attract
interest
you to
in
be there?
bringing like economic development to the town center as well, yeah?
I mean, it's zoned residential rural, so there's really no chance
Oh,
of
okay.
going in the actual center.
yeah, if you take a look at it,
And
it's.
frankly, I
yeah,
don't
it's
think
meant
we
to be
want anything in the center.
I don't think there's room for
Yeah.
anything else.
But even if there was,
Right,
Yeah.
right,
it's so beautiful. We don't want to see it.
yeah.
And I don't think anybody in town wants to see it,
Industry here,
Not
in this
in- yeah,
section
not
of
in-
town.
but not up in the center, not up by
No.
the gazebo.
Oh, no.
But so it is getting enough foot traffic as is?
Yeah,
Okay.
people can stop and take a look at it. Well, they have, when they do the tree lighting,
Oh,
it's,
beautiful.
everybody's
At
there. and,
Christmas time,
It's
yeah.
beautiful and,
Yeah, I think we could qualify it
People
as
actually
historic town
married
center
there.
versus economic town center.
yeah, I
you
know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly, yep.
You gotta get get rid of that center word, because
Yeah.
you're tearing everybody right off. If you think you're going to put a CVS up at the center.
Well, the center's in Centerville, right? Where the store is, Family Convenience Center?
That's Centerville,
Yeah.
Well, they always referred to that as Douglas Center. They also referred to it as Douglas Town.
Really?
Yeah, and that meant up in that section. Of course, you know, when Douglas first started, that was the center, and then when industry started, well, then they came down by the river.
See, now you got to get used to all the Douglas nomenclature, right?
I'm learning.
That's,
So Centerville Brook, which crosses, I believe, at where Mobile Pipeline crosses,
Right, yeah.
16, that would divide
Right.
Douglas and East.
Yes.
interesting.
So,
That was
yeah.
that was the dividing brook, you know? Depending on what side of the brook you lived on.
The good side or?
You're on the wrong side of the brook.
Yeah. What side of the brook you from, you know?
We could ask that, what side of the brook are you from?
Instead of, yeah, one of the questions at the beginning.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so maybe we could make up like some kind of easy map to read or something, just so when we're saying things, people are clear. Okay, this
good
is the
idea.
Where you
economic.
This is downtown.
I was just
Right.
going to
We
say
could do that.
Right.
No.
Down, I was thinking, there you go, that sounds good. Beat me to it. Down-
Physically,
Okay.
the common is
I
like the
think that's a
center of
good
town.
word, downtown.
Downtown.
Yeah.
this is the
Geographic.
Where all the lights are bright.
Right.
That
So
the song
downtown.
goes?
Yeah.
But so when we're saying downtown, we're talking about the commercial area.
Correct.
Right.
Where we're situated right now.
Commercial area, okay. Versus common. And so the common, like, you really want no businesses, like not even like a coffee shop?
No.
Or like nothing?
It's
No.
so
Yeah.
rural right now.
But events, you'd like to see some events on the common.
Well, they have
Yeah.
weddings,
Used to
they have
Yeah.
weddings there, events.
Used to have the fiddlers and
Right.
that was fun
Yeah.
times.
They do a beautiful job.
Yeah, where's the
Like,
Oktoberfest? Where is that held?
Downtown.
Downtown, okay.
And it flows to vehicle traffic.
Oh, nice.
For the
That's
day.
fun. Yeah, I hope I can make it. Yeah, I skipped over to page 19 here. So see what you think about this one. It says, please rank the following priorities for physical improvements in the, they said center of town and the common. So it lists a bunch of things they could have changed. Historic preservation, design and signage, beautification. Yeah, these are all just kind of more physical infrastructure. Yeah. Anything like that? Like, has that kind of come up as like walkability? Traffic calming, lighting. I don't know if that's been an issue.
Off-street parking? Like if you
Yeah.
look at downtown Concord, there's wonderful downtown, but if you go half a block, there's all the parking you'd want, but you can't see it from the street.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Whitensville has that too.
Yeah, right. Yes.
So it's really hard to get anything there now. All those
Yeah.
businesses are using it, and I go down every now and then to grab something to go from that restaurant that's down there on the right-hand side, and before you get in the back there, you can't even find a
Oh,
parking
yeah.
spot.
Yeah, would it be worth it to include a question like this?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. And we like the types of businesses you feel would be beneficial to the town. That would be a good question to ask, so we can kind of get a sense of people want a grocery store, pharmacy.
What page is that?
I went back to page 17, and it's the question on the right.
Yes.
I really like this question. I think this would be
Yeah.
awesome. Anything on that list that might be missing? I think it kind of covers everything, but
Just don't put solar on that list.
clean energy. I don't know if that counts.
I guess so.
I think we might have worded it that way.
Just so it didn't,
Yeah.
trigger people. Yeah.
Since marijuana sales, yeah, that's just what we need
Another one.
over there.
Yeah, and there's an other option, so people can write in if they have an idea or something. Cool.
There's your pharmacy and your grocery store.
Yeah.
It's pretty relevant to ask. I like that.
It's a homestay.
Is that like an Airbnb?
Those are not a lot of others. I'm sure they exist.
Yeah, probably. All right. Feel good about economic development questions?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh God, there was another one actually. Please rank the following priorities for economic development planning in the center of town. For the downtown, yeah.
Downtown.
I don't know, I'm on page 20. I don't know, I really like the other questions, but.
Yeah, yeah.
These ones, like, I mean, this is just like a list of best practices, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's like,
What
I
a
don't know, they're all
commercial-
pretty good in a way.
I know, like, it's hard to decide which is more of a priority.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what is a commercial kitchen workspace? What is that?
I guess if,
It's a good question.
It's like it gives like prospective restaurant owners like a chance to sort of like explore. This is my understanding of it. It's like a space for prospective restaurant owners to sort of like test out their ability like working in a commercial kitchen before they actually have their own like brick and mortar business.
Like a school?
Yeah, you could use it at a school maybe. Like I've actually heard of like, yeah, like schools opening up their kitchens for use as like a commercial kitchen when like the students are in session.
Valley Tech has that already.
oh,
Culinary art.
They don't,
But they teach it.
they teach it, they don't
Yeah.
open it up to,
Oh, well, the students prepare the meal.
Johnson and Wales.
yeah.
How do you guys feel about this one?
I kind of still like it as on page 17, the green stuff. This one, it's tough because what we have downtown is kind of what we have downtown. There's no room for anything else unless we go up.
yeah, that makes sense.
And we actually don't have any empty storefronts.
No,
We
no, it's full.
That's
we
true.
don't have any empty storefronts. Well, the bookstore's
Oh, yeah.
empty now, okay.
That's the only one.
That's
Yeah.
it.
But somebody bought that right away, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's in there yet with the girl that had the
I
books.
don't think anybody's in there. Within a day, somebody bought it.
The building, the whole building?
Right. Yeah, I feel good about these
So-
economic development questions,
Yeah.
yeah. If we want to move forward to land use on page 21, so we're talking about where the town should kind of be focusing on for commercial, industrial, residential, or mixed-use development. Should the town prioritize the protection of natural resources and open space? What types of development are needed or desired? What pace of growth is desired? So that's kind of what we'd be trying to get at with these questions. So on page 22, this is from Lester. In your opinion, what types of land should the town prioritize for future development?
I mean, one of the things, I don't know if you realize, we do have a lot of open space. There's like about 20% of the town is state forest. So we're very lucky in that respect.
We're hopefully getting some more, right, Matt?
Right? Yeah, that table you sent me was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's it too.
A lot of those landowners aren't interested in aren't interested in preservation, like New Sherburne, he's developing all of that.
Yeah, that was sad to hear, because that's a lot of land.
Oh, he's got over 100 acres,
Yeah.
Who's that?
even more.
Schwartz's old property.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna build that whole thing out. And,
Certainly putting some
Smith's
expensive
heirs.
houses.
he owns the most land
Right.
at the state forest, but his heirs are impossible to get a hold of.
Really?
Nobody had reached them. They came to one of the hearings, and that was the last we saw them, and then we reached out, and they didn't say, sort of indication that they wouldn't do anything with it.
Well, that was the land up there off,
Smith.
Oh, Smith?
yeah.
It's the largest landowner.
Is he your cousin?
Probably. Go back
Distantly,
far
huh?
enough, yeah.
He just passed away last year, I think.
Yeah. Was he an optometrist or something like that?
Most of it's all landlocked,
Yeah.
can't get to it. What's gonna do with it, other than preserves it, puts it in conservation or chapter, you get tax breaks. I don't think he does that. He's not using it for forestry or agriculture or any sort of use. It's just sitting there.
Well, maybe we ought to find out how much they pay in taxes. That would give us an idea of whether the heirs might be interested in doing something. Because if it becomes too expensive to hang on to, that's when something happens.
Land use on 24, I like it because it's ranked and it's super simple. I don't know how effective or comprehensive it would be, but I like the way it's used.
Yeah, so overall, which of the following types of development do you feel the town needs more or less of? So yeah, it lists all the different types. I think this list even goes on, that's just all I could fit on the page.
Could add industrial uses as well.
Probably, yes.
Fast food, dry food.
Need more gravel pits? Probably not.
Yeah, I like that question a lot.
Make a note to add that.
What page is that on?
24.
24. Yeah.
24, the one on the left.
Which question do you like a lot?
29. On
Let's see, I like
page
it. Question 29 on page 20.
Okay, all the questions, okay.
Yeah.
More or less, just right type of
Yeah.
thing. Too hot, too cold, just right.
Goldilocks.
Supermarkets, pharmacies, we have enough of those.
Yeah, yeah. Fast.
Yeah, and again, like, it's not the full list either, that's just what we could fit.
I like that.
Could you also include
Well,
like
what do you think?
25?
What's that?
What do you think of 24, Bob? The pace of commercial industrial manufacturing growth.
Oh, the pace of it.
Pace.
Yeah, what pace? The sprint?
If you leave out sleep and eating, I guess it's fast.
Dive right in, right? Cannonball, here we go.
I have a comment on number 30, page 24, number 30. Which areas should be promoted for commercial, industrial, or mixed use? Can we lead that question with what this committee did 20 years ago to say commercial industrial zones are on the east side of town, adjacent to 146, kind of lead that question?
Of course, yeah.
I mean, we don't want warehouses next to the state forest. But I've been following the master plan that you did, Rich,
Yeah.
20 years ago, where you've identified the corridor against 146, and that's where we're developing.
Right.
Keep the truck traffic on 146.
I think I'm possibly shifting even more from west to east.
Just keeping it east,
Yeah.
just keeping it east.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind, you don't even see this warehouse.
Because there are some bits and pieces out west, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that had been sort of, we've had some applications for earth removal and what have you.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not entirely compatible with what else is there, but that's how it's zoned.
Right.
Yeah.
It was zoned as a result of the master plan, I believe. But,
Well, we talked about unintended consequences,
yeah,
stone crushing.
right. That's what we got. We got outdoor vehicle storage.
Sorry, this is local. Local stuff. Sorry.
When you're talking about keeping everything on the east, you're referring to the commercial and industrial end? Okay.
The big
Warehouses?
Yeah, adjacent to the highway.
If
Okay.
you extend the
Some access.
commercial through the corridor towards Webster on 16, extend commercial, not so much industrial.
Yeah,
Like, you got industrial out there, that's big use,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
In an area that's right next to a forest, that's, could get destroyed. And there's no utilities out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even think it would appeal
No
to
water, no
anything
sewer, no
industrial.
nothing.
It'd be tough to get
No
anything
electric
commercial.
either.
Right.
Right,
Those are telephone lines going through 16, that's not electric.
that's right. Does the town still own that piece that we had up there near Webster?
No, that was sold, that's the one that Andy just bought.
Was sold, huh?
Yeah.
So we might want to ask that question. Would you like to see more industrial shifted from the west side of town to east in terms of zoning, however that's worded? Commercial, not so much is a problem, but industrial, maybe down the road.
From Centerville Brook East, pretty much. You know,
On
it
the other
depends
side
on-
of the brook, yeah.
The people downtown here might say, no, we don't want to industrial. They'd want to say which side is east.
Yeah, well, we're talking adjacent to the highway as much as possible, right?
Well-
In terms of access and now water and sewer, right?
And that's right here where we're sitting.
Yeah, here east.
People might not want to see industrial here
Yeah.
in this section. Even though there's not much land, somebody might find a piece. If we zoned it different
Yeah,
than what it is now.
yeah.
Right now, it was the downtown zone commercial, right?
Yes.
Downtown industrial,
Village residential?
right?
Yeah.
No, it's, no, it must be,
CB, central business, yeah.
I know. We're in the
VR.
wrong room, that's the problem. That
No,
room has all the
those
maps.
are probably all old.
No, they're not, they haven't changed the zoning.
Well, how old are those maps?
Yeah, that-
Matt has one hanging in his office.
Yeah.
Maybe he went to go get it.
Well, that's not the other meeting room.
So, I don't know.
Right. Maybe put them up here.
Maybe next meeting we'll have.
I feel like I didn't bring my phone up.
Yeah, I don't even think it's on our website.
On the town website?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can find it on the town website.
Think so?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's got it on the town
Oh,
website.
yeah, you can find
Want to put money on it?
it. Yeah. I look at it.
Yeah, so land use is really the hot button item, I would think.
Whatever.
You can,
Sounds
if you go
good,
onto the
yeah.
assessor's site and
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
try to
the
frame
GIS
it.
map,
That
it's
GIS.
It's commercial and
yeah.
industrial
actually,
or
it's
just,
pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly industrial we're looking to move
Yeah.
okay.
from west to east because it seems to be, it's more incompatibility out west. And
So
we
is
have
there
the
any
highway and
industry?
water and sewer now east.
Down here?
I don't think it's
More supportive of
in the
industrial?
downtown area.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
It's all industrial.
But it's all
Where?
state forest.
All this gray is all industrial.
And State Forest?
Right.
Yeah, except for that parcel,
Oh.
but it's zoned. but
Well,
it's
see,
protected state
the
forest.
south part of it
Yeah.
was industrial, and then the state came and bought it up. We actually,
So
even-
this map is old,
this map is old. Well, it's
Yeah.
not old so much, it
but
just
it's now State
yeah, it's now
Forest.
state forest.
So we need to update that.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. We don't
Yeah.
want it to update it and put it to state forest overlay. And the reason
true.
being is we get money back from the state based on the underlying thing. Because when we did that in the master plan, and then the assessor said, what did you do that for? Well, nobody told us that this was going to cost us some money.
So,
So we need a different shade of color, a greenish gray.
Yeah,
Cliff
right.
Street up
Cliff
here,
Street, right there.
that's where Andy's moving pine, sand, and stone
Right,
over here,
yeah.
because that's zone industrial.
Right.
And he also just bought that one there.
Yeah.
So he's putting his outdoor storage of vehicles over there. So he's finding ways to use the industrial zones
and he's not going to be the last. These areas along the corridor are appropriately zoned, right?
Yep,
So those are the only two industrial.
right.
It's-
Downtown is
I
commercial.
find it's a double-edged sword. I understand where the industrial by the state forest, but there again, you're not disturbing neighbors.
That's
and
true, too.
abutters.
That's
So-
probably why it happened.
So the reason being about having it out there is you don't run into consequences of 1 or 2 streets over, you're going to be hearing noises and this going on.
Yeah,
There's absolutely nothing up there or anybody to say, I'm going to hear anything.
yeah.
So to say, no, don't do it, I think is very wrong to do. Depends on what you're trying to have for industrial. It might be the perfect spot for it.
Right. The animals.
Reason
aren't
being
gonna
is
be happy.
because you're not worrying about that disturbance.
Yeah,
You're not worrying about that noise travel.
yeah.
You're on a Route 16. I know people say, well, don't use 16. It's Route 16. You can't stop people from using it.
Right,
They're going to use
right.
it. But you want to try to guide it to what you might want to use it for. But don't count out that area. There's a good spot or good businesses that could use an area like that.
Well,
And-
if they said they're using it for their equipment storage,
Right, that's a start.
and if this equipment is, well, even if it's not on the road, but especially if it's equipment on the road, you get nice little taxes off of that.
Well, not that,
Sales
but
taxes and stuff.
you know, everybody has, at least I think, is somewhat, to use the land, you know? You go further down 16, you're, got businesses, highways, grocery stores, and everything else.
It's true.
So it's like, you know, I don't,
Well, it's commercial versus industrial. It's commercial versus industrial, right? All those items you listed,
right. but
which
I'm
is,
saying
which is
that's-
fine. So we're thinking
You mean they're in
maybe
Indian
retain
Ranch?
commercial uses, but maybe not so much industrial,
But the industrial, though, it's a good spot for it. You have no abutters.
Right.
you know?
So issues of noise and this and that could come up in another area, wouldn't come up in that area. Who are you
Except for
going
the
to
people
disturb?
who use the state forest to get away from it all. The rest are.
Correct.
It's a big
But I'm
forest.
talking
They're not
about-
going to use it anymore.
But during
They
the
won't
day,
stop
but the idea
using
is, that's, businesses are normally open during the day. And I understand what you're saying, but.
So do people walk during
It's
the
the
day?
facts of life. You got to have the states and the areas. There could be a state park and a factory right next to it.
Right.
It is what it is.
So let this be part of the survey.
Correct.
Right, well, that's what I'm
Circling
saying.
back.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
We
To
wouldn't
put it
say
on where
move
we're
everything east,
directing maybe
then.
more
Right.
towards 146.
Maybe to the.
Don't count out
outskirts of-
that side of the town either.
Yeah.
Right.
Be interesting to
There's
see
not
what kind of
much land
feedback
that's
we get
available
back.
for it, but-
You know.
I
But
think,
still.
I think what you're saying is right. And then the other thing where you think that commercial is better than industrial as far as neighbors, you know, grocery store. A grocery store where all these cars coming and going all day is probably more aggravating than an industrial
Correct.
place that doesn't really have that much traffic, you know?
There you
You think
go.
industrial, everybody thinks it's the smokestacks in Pennsylvania.
No.
Well, that's not what it is anymore.
No.
Is there such a thing as a clean, quiet industrial use, or is that an
There's a lot of it that's
is that an oxymoron? Yeah.
Cannabis. I think that counts as
Oh,
industrial.
yeah.
It could be a
There's a warehouse in
manufacturing
that state.
facility or something like that. You know, you don't know. It's,
Well, could we qualify the uses? Because when you have some of these uses where you have high noise, high decibel level uses, that carries.
It can even, like, it can disrupt ecosystems and stuff. Like
You know, you talk about cannabis, it might be quiet, but it stinks to the high heavens.
Oh, yeah.
And the people that have to live near that, I'm surprised that they're not out there protesting every day to have
I
to
think
smell
it's part of
that.
the regulation.
That is
You're not
disgusting.
supposed to be able to
skunk.
smell
It's
it.
it's like a
Yeah,
skunk.
it's probably because
I had one
they're
of my
all, they're too
tenants, they
mellow
kept
now.
looking for the skunk under the shed, and then we figured out what it was.
Yeah, right.
They're all too mellow.
That's what it smells like.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's almost like.
Anyway, circling back, so where are we?
We're gonna work together and craft a good question around this, I think.
Yeah, we could make
It would be
this.
good, like, if we could even, like, list all of these different
Not at all.
ideas that people are having. It's just sort of like, so people have like they know what they're getting into when they respond to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we can describe it more for them.
So I think, yeah, like I say, it's a worthy question. We'll survey
yeah.
big time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And just going back to the questions on page 23, talking about the pace
think it's a valid question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people will, we could even, add a little box. What are your thoughts on this? Or maybe we don't want to add a little box where people can type in.
I think we should go.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm curious. I want to know what people are saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the whole purpose of this, right?
I think, though, when you ask
Survey is
these questions, you have to follow up with the fact that if you decrease, are you prepared to pay more taxes to take care of the services if you're getting rid of the income that you're getting from these things? I mean, everybody wants everything, but there's a cost to it.
Oh, you mean for question 30 on page 24?
I don't even know which number we're looking at, page 20.
Question 24 on page 23.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You know, you're going to,
Do we want this one to be included? Because it's, I don't know, does it feel kind of like it's inevitable that it's gonna, like, either stay the same or increase? Or do you think, do you think
What's that?
having
It's asking
people
the
answer that in a
pace,
survey?
right?
What was that?
I think it's asking the pace of the commercial growth. You want it to stay the same, or you want to see it go faster, you want to see it slow down, right? Is that what you're asking on question 24?
Yeah, but, how much of a say did the people in the, on answering the survey have for that one?
you know what, that's kind of a silly question. Do you know what the pace is? The pace goes on the economy, and anybody wants
Correct.
to do it.
Yeah.
I've been on economic for 20-some years, never could get anything here. Finally, we got something. There's the pace. We went from 0 to 60, I guess. and that's what happened.
That's a long day of fishing, right?
But we're here
Get one
twice,
fish.
you know? So now, the economy slows down again, you don't have to worry about the pace, nothing will happen. So that pace.
And have a lot
that's-
of empty big buildings.
We could have that, yeah, not paying taxes. So pace, I think, quite frankly, this pace is a joke question. What do you think?
That's probably irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's gonna happen as it happens.
It's going to happen
you know?
or it doesn't happen,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
We could include other kind of land uses too, not just have it commercial and industrial. We could say residential, the pace of that too. Ask
That'd
about
be a
that.
good one.
Is that better, kind of, just to focus more on residential, if that's more of a concern?
Yeah, residential growth always triggers a discussion about school capacity.
Right.
It does.
So I think that's a good idea.
And that-
You could
That
reword
affects
that
taxes also.
question to list all those zones, residential, commercial, and put 3 columns. Stay the same, increase, decrease.
Yeah, residential, commercial, industrial, stay the same.
Yeah, that's right. Residential, industrial, or commercial.
List all the
industrial.
zones and then
Yeah,
have
yes,
3
right, and
columns.
see how-
Stay the same.
See how they see on the, right.
I'm just wondering,
This is all,
how does this,
this is all to get
how does this one
information, feedback
inform
too, so
Yeah.
it's-
the master plan?
Always a good question.
Yeah,
What we should be asking for all of these.
yeah.
I do think we should have a question, though. Are you willing to pay more taxes to stop growth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, are you willing to,
Yeah.
you know,
Or some sort of reminder that,
Yeah.
the
I mean, if-
slowing of growth is going to increase your,
if people want to
Your
pay
tax
for
base.
it, fine.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Are you
there's no
willing
Santa
to
Claus, so if this is what you want, it's going to
compromise
cost you
or whatever,
more, and you
what's the
feel
word?
that it's worth it to you, vote it up there.
And we just went through with Prop 2.5, 6 years ago. There was 0 economic development. We paid the price, residential.
Right?
And usually the ones that
We have
are
4%.
squawking about, we don't want to see it grow, but they're the ones that are squawking about their taxes going up.
Right.
Pick one.
And quite frankly,
Exactly.
Pick one. You can have both.
I'm on finance, and if we didn't get these things that are coming in now, we'd be going for another override.
Yeah, the last one passed by, what, 4 votes?
Yeah, but we'd be pushing for another one.
Yeah.
Be another
Because
one
we
coming
just
up.
don't have the amount of money to support the services that we have.
And we've got some big projects coming up.
Highway.
Building.
What?
Yeah.
Highway bond.
Right, we've got that coming up.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're putting a lot of money now into our ambulance and everything. But, you know, it's really money pretty well placed, because I know people who are alive today because we have ALS.
Yeah.
Wow.
that would not have
And I tell
been.
you what, they are busy.
Yeah, and they're doing a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
So it costs some money, but you never know when you might be the one that needs it.
Correct.
So what's the
We'll need to make a
consensus
buy of
on the question? How do we want to phrase
I think
this?
the
Is it-
way Bob stated it, the residential, commercial, industrial, 3 columns, and then stay the same, increase and decrease. So give them 3 options and 3 and 3
Okay,
type of thing.
thank you.
Sounds good.
Or you could even go 4 or 5 down the column, and then the 3 columns would be, stay the same, increase, decrease. So you could actually expand that question
Yeah.
to commercial, industrial, residential, and any others,
Recreational,
recreational.
whatever, yeah.
Maybe one of the questions, would you like to see your family be able to stay in Douglas? You know?
Well, that's the affordable
Well,
issue.
the thing is, everybody thinks affordable is low income.
Yeah, I know.
Affordable is most of the people who work for the town are in those ranges.
Well, the state's not helping with affordable, because when you build a house now, you've got to put in a car charger, EV charger.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have anything,
Right.
you've got to put in a charge $10,000.
Right, and
So they're making it so unaffordable right now with this new energy code.
the energy code is killing it. It's not just the
It's
EV
literally
charger.
killing housing.
Yeah. Pretty soon they'll all need wheelchair ramps. Just
You don't
because,
have a- Yeah,
Yeah.
just because.
yeah. Another expense.
Rich, may I make a comment?
Of course. Please.
As part of this survey, will we be able to provide the survey takers with an overview of what areas are zoned commercial and industrial and where the town services currently exist? So that when people are talking about expanding these areas, I think you have to be realistic about where we currently offer services and what the different zoning requirements are for the town overall.
Yeah, we can add in maps of that for sure,
Yeah,
for the survey.
I think that's a good idea, actually,
yeah,
especially
Okay.
water,
where the
sewer,
water sewer is,
you
yeah.
know, maybe even
Yep.
3-phase power,
That's
you
right,
know?
that's a biggie.
Stuff like that.
And where gas lines are too now.
Gas,
We get
yeah.
some gas lines, that's
Yeah.
an incentive.
Do we have, what was that thing with the power? What was that called?
3-phase, it's like, it's industrial power, basically, electricity.
Do we know if we have data of that for the town?
I might be able to get it.
Okay.
Bob Moran can get it.
I can get it from them.
Speaking of infrastructure, I don't think we have fiber optics in town yet, do we?
No.
And I think there are some towns around us that do.
3-phase goes by my shop.
We
Oh,
might
is that
want
something you want
to,
to
yeah,
ask about?
yeah,
Yeah.
in terms of high-speed internet and what have you.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I guess that would have been in facilities and services, maybe?
Whoever you think would be most appropriate, yeah.
Yeah, is there anything in town that you would like improved, or, yeah, we'll come up with a question, something like that,
Great.
to get at fiber optics. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is another visioning question on page 25. Again, we would define what we're actually talking about, the downtown versus historic center. I can't remember if we had decided on a question kind of similar to this before, but
Yeah,
think
you
the
gotta
other one
watch
was,
that town center word on that. You
Yeah.
gotta use downtown.
yeah.
Yep. I think the other one was more related to like economic development they would want
Oh,
to see
okay.
or something. I think I wrote that
Yeah, the
actually.
question is, this includes more mixed-use residential, commercial, right? If that's available.
Yeah, do we like this question or feel like,
We need some sort of vision question, right?
Yeah, we need some sort of vision of what people want to see our downtown as. Maybe as a two-part question, in 10 years and 20 years type of thing.
Did we cover this in an earlier question, Emily?
that's what I was trying to remember. But Sam said it was kind of more focused on overall economic development, what kind of businesses and
Okay.
infrastructure we'd want there. This is more, I guess, overall
It was,
aspects of it.
it was how to improve vibrancy and foot traffic in downtown. And then it gave a few examples of how it could be improved.
So that sounds more like, I don't want to say immediate, but this is like a 10 or 20-year
Yeah.
Yeah.
vision, where the other one's probably a 5-year vision, so to speak.
Of course, the problem that we have with our downtown is Route 16 runs right through it.
Yeah.
You know, like Northbridge got Church Street, although it is used a lot, but it's still not 122.
Right.
Route 16, you know, runs right through it.
But I
There's
do,
nothing we can do about it.
I do agree with what you were saying, like, because if we're just doing 20 questions, those two, they are pretty similar. So if we want to like slim it down, we might want to choose one or the other.
Or could this be an open-ended question on the other? Where would you like to see the town in 20 years? The
Okay.
downtown
Sure.
vision, and just leave it as an open, write-in question type of thing, write-in.
One of your opening questions at the beginning of the survey should say, ask, how long have you been in town? Most of us are 20 years plus. But a lot of
Good
people
question.
won't last 7 years. They come here, live for 7 years, get their kids into school, and they leave.
Yeah, the touch and go.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
a 20-year question for them, not even applicable.
Right.
They won't be here.
Yeah, right.
That's true. Yeah, so we could kind of filter it based on
And I know,
their
I
response to.
don't, Matt, I don't think we have data for the duration of everybody in town. Do we have that breakdown? The survey could get us that breakdown. How long have you been living in town?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe include in the beginning, how long do you intend to live in the town?
That was a good
Or, like,
question,
move
too.
out. Yeah, and then we could
Or,
use that
yeah,
filtering
you
thing
intend
to
to-
sort of filter by the people that
intend to
intend to live
Exactly.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, those are good opening questions.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I like that a lot.
The people who won't be here will be going for the moon.
Right.
And leave us
Right.
with the stinky pot.
We want a Main Street golden brick. right?
And on that
Then they're gone.
on the same note, I've seen people that have been here, and made decisions and certain things in town, then they leave.
Yeah, I know.
Then we're all holding the bag.
Yes.
So, and some of those decisions and things have been bad, some have been good,
Yeah.
but that's what happens.
Yep.
So it does come into play, you know?
Yeah.
Of course, sometimes people think they're going to stay a long time, and they don't.
Things
Yeah.
happen
Well,
too.
they- Jobs,
Yeah.
I mean, things happen, don't get me
Family,
wrong.
What may be, life gets in the way,
Yeah.
but
My first house, I had a plan, I was going to stay there a couple of years, and I was going on to something else. I was there for 35 years, so
Yeah, life intervenes.
Yeah. We could ask people what would make them stay too, you know? Some
Yeah,
people, it's like their
exactly.
housing situation, they can't stay in their houses. They need to
Right.
move into assisted living. There's no assisted living here. They got to move
Right.
out.
That's a
So,
good question.
And that's become
What
a
would keep you in Douglas?
yeah.
yeah, that's
That's a great
You can't
question.
afford to stay in your house, you can't afford
Yeah.
taxes
Right.
and the maintenance. Now you're forced out.
But apartments, the rents are
Oh,
unbelievable.
my God.
Yeah.
I don't know how people.
It's more than what my taxes would be.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But I'm going to tell
I'm
you,
like, even if I sold my house, I couldn't live in a one-bedroom apartment.
right.
All right, do you want to?
Seriously.
Sure. What's next, Emily? What do you got for us?
All right, next we have transportation.
It's a sky high.
Lifesaver.
The 65 or the 55 and over community. We have in Fox development, but we don't have a 55 and over development anywhere.
We could though.
I know they're proposing one on South Street.
So we're moving on to transportation.
All right, so transportation, we're looking at getting a sense of how people move from place to place within town or outside of town. Are there adequate alternatives to car travel, or is everyone relying on a personal vehicle? What are the conditions of the roads and sidewalks? Are there any areas that are particularly unsafe to travel through? That's kind of one I really want to get into. I was talking to one of our transportation staff today, and he was talking about how we have a lot of transportation data. We've done like complete streets, and we do assessments of sidewalks and all this stuff, but what can we really get from people who live here and experience moving through town? So there's a lot of different questions we can ask. So how can we kind of narrow this down? You had mentioned parking challenges before, so we could talk about or ask, are there any parking challenges in any particular parts of the town?
We already know that answer.
7 a.m. school traffic.
Yeah, I know it.
Plan on half an hour.
Oh, you come.
Parking at the schools?
It seems like everybody brings their child to school instead of running the bus, and it just miles of backup, you know? We're gonna work on a tunnel.
A tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a bridge.
Yeah.
Maybe to get rid of that choke point, North Street Bridge.
Under it. Go under it. You got the river, right? We can just follow the river. We do, seriously.
North Street towards the town.
Oh, I was driving here today, and people were just walking like on the street, and it was so unsafe. I can't believe there's no sidewalks or.
Yeah, So obviously, traffic circulation's huge. So if we could elicit some people's experiences, traffic circulation, challenges, you know, if it's school, if it's 8 in the morning and 2:30 in the afternoon, you don't want to be downtown. So if we
can't get
could
out.
kind of get people's ideas of where those challenges are.
Yeah. Is any examples here of that?
It's not easy getting out the gazebo with the morning
Yeah, we
either.
can come up with something like that.
You-
Like if there's specific areas or times of day.
Leave some space and let you go.
I'd be interested in what people think where they think the challenges are
20, 30,
in terms
50
of
cars at a
traffic flow,
and they don't even see it.
circulation.
Try to pace myself, so when people come up, if they see the gap, they can grab it, you know? And if they don't, well,
And do we have traffic studies available? You had mentioned something about that in terms of
Everything,
traffic flow, different times.
Yeah, I'm going to ask our transportation staff what they have, the most recent data they have for
Traffic
this.
studies in the
Thank you.
past. I don't know how valid
Oh,
they
we
still
just
are.
did for the projects, we did a study for Blackstone Valley logistics for different intersections in town.
Oh, okay.
And for CIG, we did more intersections, so we have all the
So you got
traffic
all that
data.
stuff.
We're about to do more.
Yeah, we're about to do a big one.
I want to say it was something down on Davis Street not too long ago. There was a traffic,
How do we access that, Matt? All that data?
a month or two ago.
I'm sorry?
The planning board's going to be getting it too, but the traffic studies were submitted to the planning board. We can get those.
Can we share it with,
Yeah, absolutely. They have counters out in the field too, and they have a lot of data on it too.
The two companies would be VHB and Vanass, were the two traffic consultants. VHB is in Bravo, Vanass, VANNASS.
Do we want to ask about transportation options? Like, you said there's no RTA service, maybe bike lanes or carpooling options, more Uber and Lyft. I don't know, any kind of alternatives that are out there.
Downtown, it is impossible to put a bike lane down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I think
Impossible, given the raised sidewalks. and all that. It's just-
I would never cross that street.
Oh, I almost got
I'd get in my car and drive over and park.
Oh, yeah.
My dad got
At
hit.
least on both sides.
Just this weekend.
The infrastructure, just so the support of the sidewalks is so high up, to bring the road up substantially.
And the road is it's just too narrow.
Yeah.
Even Route 16 itself is just impossible. You
Yeah.
couldn't
Yep.
do it.
and bike lanes, most of them are just painted lines. That's not very
I know
safe.
it.
Yeah,
That doesn't work.
yeah.
I would rather be biking against the traffic.
Yes.
Right,
with the traffic.
exactly.
Yes.
I want to see what's going to hit me.
Exactly.
Or at least be able to dive over the guardrail, you know?
You,
The same thing with walking, I'll walk against the traffic.
right, well,
Yeah.
you're supposed to walk.
Yeah, you should, yeah.
But you're supposed to ride your bike with it.
With it,
I guess that's because you could outrun them.
Do we have Uber in town?
Well, all you do is call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like everywhere, Uber and Lyft and all those little,
Sometimes you have to wait. But
We used to have a bus.
Yeah, we did have
Grandmother
a
used
bus.
to come from
Oh, yeah, I
Worcester,
used to
get
take the
off in
bus.
front of the goodness store,
Yeah.
walk up the street.
What's everybody think about question 30? Because that one is
Yeah.
loaded.
I know the sidewalks and crosswalks would be,
I mean, they'll like sidewalks, but when you're looking at $100 a linear foot.
Exactly.
then they won't like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just did one for Route 16 sidewalk, shut down.
Yeah, going up to Franklin Street,
Yeah.
extending up to Franklin Street, yeah.
That was just too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the cost wasn't the sidewalk, it was the infrastructure
Excavation.
below it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The culverts and
Yeah.
the storm
Yeah.
drains.
Yeah,
Now, the North Street project that we should be undertaking is going to have 5,500 feet of granite curb sidewalk, ADA compliant, but that's built into it.
problem with that is that's up, you gotta walk uphill on those sidewalks. Who wants that?
you can come down on rollerblades up.
Concrete,
You gotta stop.
concrete sidewalks, Bob, or tar?
No, Cochran.
Nice, thank you.
We're going-
What street is that?
We're going top shelf
North Street?
on
North Street, okay.
Yeah,
Well, if we
that's a
get the grant,
big
that's
project.
good.
Yeah.
Not to digress, but to extend that sidewalk, which ends at my house, on Main Street, and to go up to Franklin, it's just a couple houses up. You're telling me that's prohibitively expensive just to
is.
get up to Franklin?
There's those gutters there, those old fashioned.
Because of what
Well,
was
they
on
have the
the,
old culverts.
yeah, because of
The
what's
sidewalk
under
was
the,
supposed to go a little further up to Sunset, no, right?
Yeah.
was it Sun, it might have been gone up to Sunset, you're right.
Okay.
And that's where the infrastructure was, right in front of that house.
Yeah, there's drainage, there's water pipes, there's,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, I feel like maybe for transportation, we could just give a list of possible improvements and just see what people would like to.
Prioritize or-
Yeah,
what
we
they'd
could do a
like to see.
prioritize thing.
What they'd like to see,
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
like to see. maybe.
Yeah, what's important to
Make it
you?
easy, yeah.
Yeah,
make
what's
it
what's
easier.
important to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe people don't want new sidewalks, they just want the existing sidewalks to be improved. I don't know, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe an open-ended one for issues that they want to highlight.
Sure. Yeah. All right, we'll craft something for this one. That sounds good.
That's the other.
Yeah. Other, yep.
I know paving streets would be a big priority, a big ask.
Oh, yeah.
That would be number one priority.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We only have a limited Chapter 90 budget.
Right.
I don't think people understand how expensive it is to pave,
Right.
you know. And again, the ones that are, well, we're all kind of squawking about the roads, but you don't want to see your taxes go through the roof over it either, you know?
Yeah, the only other one
process.
I thought we could include on page 29, number 37, what are the most difficult areas or intersections you encounter in the town on a regular basis?
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I like that one, and that's what our transportation staff said would be useful to learn from the survey.
Give two boxes, because there might be a dangerous intersection and then a less dangerous.
That's true.
Yep. Yeah, we can say list as many as you want to. All right, let's move on to the next section. So then we have open space, recreation, natural resources. So where are people going for recreation? What types of facilities or recreational opportunities would people like to have more of? What areas should be concerned? Are there any issues regarding things like parking, accessibility, safety, maintenance of facilities in any certain sites in town?
Space Committee has already produced the open space report. It's
Oh,
available
awesome.
on the Douglas site.
Yes.
But
Did they do a survey for that?
We did.
We did. Okay, so that's awesome. So a lot of this probably is already answered. So,
The survey is at the way bottom.
okay.
So this is just approved by last year.
But that's right, it's
Is
in
that
the
on
appendix.
On
Oh,
the
okay.
town's website?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'll take a look through that, see what is in there, if there's anything else we might need follow-up
Tons of
on.
maps, too.
Yeah,
But
it's on the town's website?
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Let's see if I
Look
can
under
find it.
open space
Under open space.
committee.
Okay, that sounds good.
Maybe we can even bring the results of that to the next meeting, just to share with folks.
Yeah.
That would be good for everyone to kind of be
It's
aware
It
of.
should have the results
Like
in there
200
too.
pages.
Wow.
Yeah. The open space
Free
committee.
exercise.
Really?
CMRCP. OCC.
Yeah, whatever, whatever. Yeah, I know. Wow, that's pretty good.
I don't miss
Yeah.
Norwood, I tell
All
you.
right, and
Now
then,
I'm going to get confused on that.
I know.
I do, but I don't. You know what I mean?
Say the whole word out, then you won't get confused.
I've done it tongue-tied.
Right.
It is a great line, so.
then just the last section here, we've got historic and cultural resources. So we want to know, is historic preservation a priority for people? Maybe it's not. Are there any historic sites that are threatened by new development or demolition? Should town funds be allocated towards historic preservation? Which historic sites are most meaningful to the community? So let's see.
Well, like the old grammar school.
I mean, I think it'd be worth asking.
Like that.
Yeah.
We do have some in town, and,
The old fire station, grammar school.
Yeah,
yeah. They're sort of the poor children of Douglas,
yeah,
those two properties. The old Fire King Fire Station's looking pretty tough.
yeah, I know it.
We're working on it, building and
I
facility.
mean, put a new roof on it, but it was probably 20 years ago.
So that was the fire station, and what was the other property?
The old
old
grammar
elementary
school
school?
downtown?
Okay.
Gonna be on the clock.
Yeah.
It's all boarded up.
Is that still scheduled to be sold, that property?
We're having a survey done to try to make it as more conforming. And then I'm not sure, the OCC is going to recommend to the select board, but likely that is going to be the recommendation.
That it be sold? Yeah, just speaking for myself, I think that would be a mistake, but especially when we're looking for off-street parking downtown.
Right.
But that'd be a good medical facility, which we don't have,
Yeah,
like a Medicare or something. Not Medicare, what's it?
Mediclinical, clinic?
Clinic.
I'm just thinking we have all that contiguous land there, whether it could be used for the schools or, like we said, for off-street parking behind downtown, those buildings.
So you mean knock the building down?
No, no, it's actually in really good shape.
But then what are you going to do with it?
I don't think anybody had a clear plan. I mean, we're always talking about housing, you know, whether it's affordable housing, senior housing, you know?
Right, but the thing is that you need to have,
An elevator?
no, not even an
Handicap
elevator.
accessible?
You don't want the town building this. That's why you got to sell it. You got to get it somebody else to put their money into it.
So it generates.
We don't have the money to
Yeah.
do that.
You know,
You know, that's the problem.
It's just a tough spot because, like I say, the lot, its location, it's right next to the schools. so
Right.
you're limited to what can really go in there.
Right.
The lot is really non-conforming.
but it's contiguous with the post office, right? Post
Yes.
office,
Yeah,
school,
yeah, yeah.
so.
So
It's too bad it could be a
for our purpose, I
public-private
think it
partnership,
could
but we
use- I
retain.
hate to see it torn down. It's,
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful building. It's got nice lines.
No, we had, sorry to digress, we had some
No.
engineers go through all the buildings, and they said that was one of the most well-built buildings in the
Right.
town.
Grammar
Yeah.
school?
No.
You know, we did put a new roof on it a number of years ago. We took all the pigeon poop out.
yeah.
Is there a way to have a public-private project where you can retain land ownership or lease it and develop it so that we can hang on to that land, you know?
The
know.
problem is, we haven't been able to get anybody to do anything with it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at,
It's
you
been
know,
We had a whole
tough thing.
committee on it.
Yeah.
What,
I mean, if someone came
10 years
along,
ago?
if someone came along with a real good thing that they could do, and they could get that thing back on the tax rolls and everything, they probably could have that building for nothing.
I mean,
They would get it back.
How many years has it been abandoned?
Since 1980, I think.
40?
There's your answer.
Yeah,
Make it disappear, or do whatever.
yeah.
If nobody can figure anything out in 40 years, there's a problem.
It doesn't mean it can't be figured out, though,
So I'm
Michael.
just saying,
Yeah.
it's a deal where after so long,
Yeah.
Like having a pair of boots. After so long, you need to throw them out.
I mean, when you go through other towns, they try to, they try to retain.
44
they-
years.
Yeah, but when you can have the best of history and adaptive reuse in the building,
Right.
I think it's very attractive in a downtown area. Go through any downtown area, go through Hopedale, go through any of those towns. They rehabilitated those buildings, and they leased them to businesses and to what have you.
And I agree with you.
44 years.
I agree with you, Rich, but on your point, who's pushed it?
Huh?
Who has pushed to do something with it?
I know it's been brought up before.
There was a committee that worked on it.
Right.
But nobody's done like economic development. What's going on in the last 40 years? Nothing.
Correct.
Right,
Yeah.
Right.
right.
But I'm just saying, that's, every year longer you wait.
With it, we got, yeah,
Right.
we
But
got
You
to do
go
something.
to Reliant Group or those medical facilities, do you want this building? Well, give the damn thing to
A
you.
lot of them, and I'm going to rebut on that, is they want to be like where the new one is over by Market Basket.
Yeah.
Main road, intersection of a highway. They don't want something in behind 3-4 buildings, 200 feet deep off the road. It's useless.
And Gleason
They wanna
Court,
be
it's
out front.
narrow. It's
Correct.
very narrow.
Accessibility, everything unfortunately is going against what everybody wants or thinks can be done with it.
Well, you know what? We're not so much where you have to be on the side of the road anymore. Because everybody has a GPS, it takes you to wherever you want to go. You know, it used to be like that. You know, you had to be on the side of the road. There's a winery out in Connecticut that I love. I cannot get there without the GPS, and I've been there 6 times, okay? They had a restaurant there. I had to make reservations a month and a half in advance to go to that. And I'm telling you, I can't find it without a GPS. So you don't have to be on the side of the road anymore.
Can we ask the question? It might be under this category, historic and cultural resources. Just their thoughts, you never know. Like
Right.
lightning
What'd you
could
like to
strike
see done
on
with the old grammar school?
on the old elementary school. It's probably the biggest
It
sort of
is.
out there building in town
Absolutely.
That we
That's a
own.
great question.
that we own, yeah.
Yeah.
By out there, you mean like unique architecture?
It's very unique. It's turn of the last century.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. And it has
Giant
beautiful,
granite steps and it's
beautiful-
just beautiful.
It's well-built, yeah.
yeah.
A little landscaping outside, increase the parking area,
Yeah.
that thing's got potential.
It
Yes.
really does have,
Yep.
Somebody in town
I think-
might know somebody who wants to get in there, other than 6 apartments.
right.
Right.
Well, the other thing too is we say we've had a committee to do it. Those committees were not people who were into real estate and selling and promoting. You know, it's like, okay, it's here, but you've got to have people who are professionals, know how to go after the people who want this type of stuff. And it's, you know, and the people in town have done put a lot of time and everything into it. But
Yes.
then, I know when I was on economic development, we didn't get far until we got Bob, and he really moved us along,
Well, I was retired, I had nothing but time.
right?
Key word.
Good.
boy.
Yeah. Well,
Now what? See what you got yourself into?
Yeah, I feel like if we just have a question
Always
like
to
that,
find my dining room
I think
table.
that's good for historical. Is there anything else you would want to ask? Oh, CPA. You had said, is that on the town ballot?
It's, yeah, there's already enough signatures for it, right?
Would be out.
Okay, is that something we would want to throw into this survey? Is it worth kind of asking people and getting a sense?
We'll know in November.
I don't know. Maybe how would you like, if CPA is passed, how would you like to see the money used? I don't know, let's stop.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to advertise it.
Yeah, and you can like click on, we can have a link in there and they can click to learn more, so when they
Right,
show up
people
on
might not
November
even
3rd.
know.
Yeah,
CPA, what are you talking about? And then,
Yeah.
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
we
then
can
they'll
do
get
that.
into knowing what it is and yay or nay it.
CPA, this guy does your taxes. isn't he?
Oh, yes.
That's her son, right?
Considered an investment into your community.
What's that?
It's considered an investment into your community.
It's also considered a tax on what you're paying.
Correct.
I know, they got it in Northbridge, and I started looking at all my bills, what the hell is this?
So Emily, we've been meeting for what, 3-4 months? I just want to say, this is our version of staying on task. We usually have
You
some
guys are doing great.
freewheeling conversations. It's actually good, but
This is great, because I'm still learning more about the town, so even the side conversations are helpful for me. Okay, we kind of got through the example questions. Anything else you feel like we really want to include in the survey that wasn't covered? Just general topics or anything? Sam and I could work on crafting a question around it. Or do we feel good how it is? We'll show up next week with a draft survey and we'll go through it again.
I think we'll do that.
That sounds good. Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Emily.
I had,
Population, do you ask age?
yeah, we could ask age, how long they've lived here,
I think that's really, yeah.
owner or renter or other.
That's already in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Children, number of children, does that
Children.
maybe matter
That would
for
be, don't,
schooling
we
or?
get a survey, the town does a census. That would all be on the census.
Yeah, true.
Just have to go to the census.
What was this last census, was 2020, right? And we'll get another one till when?
No, you got one every,
10 years, 10 years.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you have a census every year.
So
maybe
these are
it's
just
worth-
questions that we're asking to get a feel for who's responding to the survey.
That's right, too.
Right, so you
Right,
can filter and
Mm-hmm.
kind of see what group is doing what questions.
Because not everybody in town is going to respond to this survey.
Right.
Correct.
So I think it's true, we need to know who the people are that are responding, and, you know, do you have kids, how many kids, what's the age range?
And on this survey, should we compare it then to our hit list and kind of do a check off? It's like covered.
Stuff in the
Or
SWOT
what?
analysis.
Oh, yeah, I had typed that
You
up. I
mean
can
with
send that
the
out.
survey results, you mean?
No, no.
Or-
As this goes out, we get a lot of questions on the back of that
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
How this, go through it and take a look at our board and make sure we're trying to hit on all the cylinders that were
Points.
mentioned during all those meetings we had. Otherwise, why did we have the meetings? That was the whole purpose of the meetings, was to have a punch list.
And you took pictures
And
of that,
hopefully the
right?
survey
Yeah, I typed it up, so I can send that out to everyone.
covers what we discussed on the punch list. And this is awesome, but maybe we forgot one or two things on that board. We had a lot of stuff on the board.
Yeah.
So at our next meeting, maybe we can try to incorporate that?
Right,
Yeah.
like, take this and have the board up here and kind of go through, and then maybe take a different color marker and everything we touch on, just put a mark next to it. That way there we know what we discussed is being hit in the survey.
Okay, cool.
I like it.
Meg, are you still there? I guess I was going to ask her if she had anything to add, you know. It's
I
okay.
am.
How are you? Just want, we're going to wrap it up. Just want to touch base, see if you had anything to add.
No, I mean, I agree that we should cross-reference it to the list that we made based upon, what we had done in the meetings prior, and then just kind of go through and see how long this is actually going to be.
Okay, all righty, thank you. Any other business? Questions, comments, considerations on anything we spoke about, or questions for Emily or Sam? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Second.
Roll call vote, if you would. Linda? Roll call
Oh,
vote?
Linda Brown, aye.
Carol Gogolinski, aye.
Bob and Eric, aye.
Ross Smith, aye.
Mike Swicker, aye.
Gordon Larrabee, aye.
Meg?
Meg Schlesman, aye.
Thank you. Rich Preston, aye. So moved. It's adjourned.